Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Herbert Harris, and this is Success Mentorship class number 339. And our topic for today is It's Time to Clean House. It's time to clean house. And that's a topic that I had to do today because, we're approaching the last 4 months of the year. And I wanted to highlight those things that could either lift us up or slow us down. And if we don't clean our houses in every regard, not just our physical houses, but our mental houses, our spiritual houses, houses in every aspect, our thought houses, our emotion houses, our habit houses. If we don't take care of that, then the last 4 months of this year can be challenging and problematic. All of our topics are based on our book, The 12 Universal Laws of Success. And I invite you to go to our website, herbertharris.com, and see some of the many goodies and many things we have there that can help you transform your life and help you do what you have to do to become the person you want to become. Our website is herbertharris.com, www.herbertharris.com, and we invite you to go there. So let us prepare for our journey today with just close our outer eyes, open our inner eyes, and take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. And in this space of peace and relaxation, we are at peace with ourselves. Just affirm that together. I am at peace with myself. Once more. I am at peace with myself. And in this state of peaceful consciousness, our minds, our spirits, every aspect of our being is open, receptive, and ready to learn. My mind is open, receptive, and ready to learn. Let's affirm that together. My mind is open, receptive, and ready to learn. Just let that sink in. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. And so it is. This topic today, I love to begin with a quote. And this is a quote from Marie Kondo. She's a Japanese efficiency expert and author. And she talks about decluttering your life. And she said this: cleaning is the key to unlocking your potential. Cleaning is the key to unlocking your potential. There's a spiritual foundation for this message in the book of Matthew, the 9th chapter, the 17th verse, and it says, neither do people pour new wine into old wineskins. If they do, the skins will burst and the wine will run out, and the wineskins will be ruined. No, they pour they pour new wine into new wineskins, and both are preserved. And so this is really saying that as we're on this journey for these next 4 months to close out this year, that We have to get rid of stuff that does not serve us. We must clean house. We must get rid of those things that undermine our efforts. And it's important we do that because when we declutter our homes, our offices, for example, it helps us be more efficient. It helps us be more organized. So even your physical space, there's a thought that whatever is around you on the outside is a reflection of what's going on inside. So a junky house, junky office may mean a junky mind. I don't necessarily subscribe to that, but I'll say this, that when your office, when your home is neat and in order, you can operate much better. So it is important to physically clean our spaces. But that's just the beginning of it. Once we've made that determination that everything has its place and there's a place for everything, we can move on now to the real job, which is cleaning and removing everything that does not serve us on this next level of our journey. Replacing certain thoughts, certain emotions, certain habits, certain relationships with new ones. The law of displacement, and sometimes it's called the Archimedean principle. Archimedes, when he sat in the tub of water and the water rised up, he said, wow, that's the Archimedean principle. And it's really saying that two things cannot occupy the same space at the same time. So when you sit in the water in the tub, you notice the water rises up along the sides of the tub. And it's the same thing with all other things in life. No two thoughts, for example, can occupy the same space at the same time. No two emotions can occupy the same space at the same time. And so this is a powerful thought, folks, because as we begin to go forward, it's important to look into our thoughts, our emotions, our habits and our actions, and our relationships, and determine which ones do not serve us. Which ones are old thoughts, old emotions, old actions, old habits, old relationships. And the challenge is if we don't get rid of the old, as the scripture says, when we try to add new stuff and we have not cleaned house, it just creates clutter. You say you pour new wine into an old wineskin, the new wine has a different vibration, it'll burst the skin, and then you lose everything. So let's look at right now, this period in our lives, these last 4 months of the year. Let's clean our thoughts. Let's eliminate those thoughts of lack, limitation, failure, all of the negative thoughts, and then replace them with positive thoughts of abundance, positive thoughts of accomplishment. Earl Nightingale said, you become what you think about most of the time. You become what you think about most of the time. And so if your thoughts are not centered on your goals and your vision, your thoughts are like seeds. If you permit thoughts to come into your mind that are not congruent with your goals and your vision, these thoughts, negative thoughts, will take root and will undermine everything you're doing. So your thoughts are like seeds that you plant in your subconscious mind. So a seed can be a good seed or a bad seed. Your subconscious mind objectifies whatever thought you put there, whatever seed you put there. So it could be the positive seed, the seed of a plant of corn. This seed can grow and feed you and your family. Or it can be a seed of the hemlock plant that when you take it, you will die. And so this idea of your thoughts is this: whatever you put into your thoughts, into your mind, goes into your subconscious mind, and it will objectify it. It will bring it about in your life. And so if you're talking words of positivity, but thinking words of negativity, guess what? You get what you think. And so when you have contrary thoughts going on, the law of displacement says you're going to have one which will predominate over the other. So this step one in creating the person we want to be to make this your year for success is to clean house in your thoughts, get rid of all the negative thoughts and replace them with positive thoughts. You know, in school, they used to teach us nature abhors a vacuum. You can't clean it out and put nothing there. You clean it out by replacing it with something else. So, clean thoughts, positive thoughts, clean house, get all the negative thoughts out of your mind, replace them with positive thoughts. These positive thoughts will take hold and give you the power to go where you want to go. We must clean out our emotional houses. Oh boy. We must get rid of these emotions that do not serve us. Get rid of the negative emotions, past hurts, past failures, emotions of regret. Get rid of emotions of insecurity, doubt, envy, jealousy. There's so many negative emotions that literally lock us up. You know, emotions are like, can you imagine being on a plane, one of the biggest, like, was it the 747? You know, when I was last traveling to Egypt, I remember taking the 747, flying from New York to Zurich. And as big as that plane is, with all those four big engines, the one thing you don't see is the baggage room. If there's too much baggage on that plane, it will not get off the ground. And so our emotions are like the baggage in our consciousness. And if we permit these negative emotions, and let me tell you something, emotions are the most powerful aspect of our ability to manifest. We often say feeling gets the blessing because emotion is a vibration, and a vibration is an energy. And so you use a positive emotion like desire when you want to do something really, really bad. When we were watching the Olympics and you saw people dig down deep inside and say, well, what was it that made them put forth that extra effort to do what must be done, to go the extra mile? It was the emotion of desire. And so if we're going to get our plane off the ground to fly to our dreams, we have to get rid of all of those emotions that do not serve us, especially those hidden emotions that are in the baggage bin of our lives. These emotions can undermine your belief and block your growth. So replace fear with faith. Replace doubt with belief and action. You know, Van Gogh had a great quote, and he said, anytime you doubt yourself, he said, when you hear the words or the voices of doubt, that you overcome them by painting. And the more you doubt, the more you paint. And the more you paint, those voices of doubt will be silenced. Replace hatred with love. Look at all the positive emotions. And I recommend you go online and just put a search engine for positive emotions. You know, the negative emotions come up so easily. But search for the positive emotions and make a list and then focus on those positive emotions and see how they can uplift your life. Third, we must get rid of negative habits, bad habits. Thank you so much, Miss Jones, for buying a badge on Instagram. We have our Instagram family there. Thank you so much. We have a great group on Instagram right now. You see, your habits are actions that become a pattern over time. You know, there are people who are always late, but they're always late because certain actions that they perform cause them to be late. They start late. They're not prepared. They're disorganized. They can't find stuff. They miscalculate their time. And the interesting thing about habits is once you create them, you say, in the beginning, you create the habit, but in the end, the habit creates you. And so if you're a person who's always late and always disorganized, you'll find that eventually that becomes your pattern. And your whole life operates in that fashion. You know, people say, oh, he's always late. She's always late. Well, that's because of one of those habits that you need to get rid of. You see, habits and actions are very powerful because actions are confirmation of belief. We can believe, we can say the things that we believe, but what we act on becomes the power. And so, since actions are confirmation of belief, if our actions are not positive ones, if they're negative actions, if they're actions that undermine our effectiveness, then they will undermine our progress. The fourth thing that we have to clean house on, this is the biggie, folks, relationships. You have to get rid of toxic relationships. You get rid of people who do not love you, who do not honor you. Get rid of people who suck up your energy, suck up your time, suck up your money. Needy people, greedy people. And you know who they are. But I want to put another spin on this for a moment because this idea of relationships has a much deeper meaning. There are levels of relationship. Relationship of the first order is your relationship with yourself, with your source. And so if you do not have a proper relationship with your source, your God, your creator, by whatever name, then it's difficult to have a proper relationship of the second order, which is a relationship with yourself. If you don't have a proper relationship with yourself, then it's very challenging to have a good relationship with others. That's the third order of relationship. And so what happens with relationships, and it's many times it's a hard lesson to realize that the people who are in your life, you sent for them. You call them. Now, when you're a child, you're not in control of your space. So many things happen to children that children really have no control over because they are entrusted to the care of adults, someone who's supposed to love them. And we know the stories of abuse of children by adults. Okay. But once you come into your conscious being, then the people who are in your space are the ones you called in there, either subconsciously or consciously. So early hurts that would have taken place in your early life could be radiating a vibration that will call people into your space who confirm those hurts. And so this idea of relationship is very profound because you must first work on that relationship with your source. You know, the prodigal son, and you know, we're all prodigal sons and daughters. The prodigal son, once he got into the far country and wasted all of his wealth and lost everything, and here he is feeding somebody else's pigs. That happens to many of us. That relationship with us, with other people now has put us in a situation where everything is lost. But here he is feeding somebody else's pigs. And even in that dire situation, he came to a realization. He said, he came to himself. He said, my father's house, the servants and everybody have food enough to spare, and here I am hungry. And so when we think about this relationship, I'm dwelling on this a little bit because that relationship with yourself is critical, but you must have a relationship with your source first. And then relationship embodies all of the other things. Relationship can be impacted by the thoughts, by emotions, by the habits. And so once you're clear on the relationship with your source, I am created by God for a holy purpose. I'm created for a good purpose. a relationship with yourself. I am a good person through and through. Then you can have a good relationship with other people. And so this idea of cleaning house and relationships is starting on the inside, cleaning out those things in you, those hidden emotions, those hidden thoughts that go back into the past that are calling out for relationships that don't honor you. So when we look at this, these areas, and we say, now let's put it all together. As we go forth the last third of the year, these next 4 months, forget the past. And what I mean is this: whatever the shortcomings were, whatever the things you did not do in the past, don't let them become prisons for the present. Just because you failed 1,000 times, don't look at it as failure. Look at it as success. You've successfully identified 1,000 things that do not work. Sometimes you fail your way to success. Thomas Edison was an excellent example. He just kept failing and failing and failing, and the thing he did was never quit. So as we get into these last 4 months of the year, let's summarize where we can be and what we should do. Number one, clean your physical space. As I look around my office, my studio, I got work to do. You may have to get help. Sometimes you cannot clean your own place. Everything you pick up has such a history and such a memory that you can't. You end up never cleaning. You just move stuff around. But remember this: your space is a reflection of your mind, a reflection of your feelings about yourself. And then let's clean these 4 elements that determine who we are, what we're about, where we're going, and what our life quality is. Clean out the negative thoughts, realizing that we choose what we think. We choose a negative thought or a positive thought. We choose thoughts of limitation when we say, I can't, I don't have. Thoughts are seeds planted in the garden of your consciousness. So don't plant anything you don't want. Clean house, get rid of all the negative thoughts. Clean house of negative emotions. Emotions are the baggage that can keep you from flying. Emotions can be hidden in the baggage compartment of the plane that is your life, and you're sitting there waiting to get off the ground, and it never happens. Your entire life is spent on the runway, just going around in circles, because you never cleaned house of those negative emotions, those emotions of pain, of hurt, often created by other people. But you have to solve it. You have to resolve it. Clean house of all the bad habits, all the ineffective actions, all of those things that undermine your progress and undermine your success. You know, my mother used to say, when you have an important appointment, lay out your clothes the night before. Okay. If you have an appointment that's somewhere that you haven't been before, go there the day or two before so you know the way. She used to say, don't make assumptions that everything will go right. So, you know, a 15-minute trip, there are people who leave in 15 minutes. Their interpretation of a 9 o'clock appointment is to be there at 9 o'clock. But you'll find that when you get there at 9 o'clock, there's some people that are already there. And so maybe develop those habits of being there early, of projecting yourself ahead of when you're supposed to be there so you can be there when the real deals are cut. Clean house of unproductive relationships, relationships that undermine your success efforts. Surrounded by people who don't believe in you, no matter how strong your belief. They say birds of a feather flock together. The mastermind principle works positively or negatively. So you always hear, if you have 5 broke people, guess who the 6th one is? You. So get away from people who undermine the belief in yourself, people who are critical. Critical people, you say you sugar, it falls like water off a duck's back, but that's not true. If you are surrounded by critical people, that criticism hurts you. It impacts you. Clean house. When you can clean your thoughts, your emotions, your habits, your relationships, when you can take command of your physical space so that it's a reflection of an organized mind, then nothing is impossible. Then over these next 4 months, you can lay the groundwork for the rest of your life. That over these next 4 months, you can do things that you never could do before because you change your thinking, you change your emotions, you change your habits, and you change your relationships. When you can do that, nothing is impossible. You can truly be what you want to be. You can do what you want to do. You can have anything you desire, always knowing that the best is yet to come. Just take a deep breath for a moment. Let it out slowly. So it is. Those of you on Instagram, thank you so much for being with us. Be sure to go to our website, herbertharris.com, and look at some of the powerful tools that can help you. Book a success call, a free complimentary success call, and let us talk about it. Maybe there's some insight we can share. But whatever you do, clean house.